and welcome to Prognosis, the most cost-effective, comprehensive EMR system for your practice today. As a provider, you need to be able to see critical information at the critical time. In this day of information overload, sometimes it can be overwhelming. But here, when I'm looking at my nice homepage, I've logged in as Dr. John Malloy. I can see everything that I need to at a quick glance. I have a nice summary of my inbox messages in the upper left, divided up into to-do items, telephone messages my staff have taken, just regular messages, and then the system will also generate messages based on certain events, such as lab results coming in electronically, perhaps documents that have been attached into the patient's chart that I need to approve. So I can come in here, I can approve labs, I can delegate follow-up, I can reply to messages. Down here, driven off the appointment schedule, I can see the patients that are coming in today, the reason why they're coming in. I have a nice continuously changing status on the right-hand side. If a patient has walked into the waiting room and the front desk has checked them in on the schedule, I'm going to see that on my nice control panel, and I'll also know what room they're being taken to. If my medical assistant is currently with a patient, it'll automatically update the status. It'll say with MA because it knows the MA is accessing this patient's chart. As I complete my encounters and move on to the next person, it'll say complete. So at the end of the day, if these all said complete, that would just be perfect. Now, of course, there's a lot of distractions that you have going on in your office on a day-to-day basis. You might be getting called away, working on several patients at the same time. So if you're ever lost, can't remember what you were doing, you have a nice Open Encounter tab that lets you see instantly the charts that have been opened but have not been signed off. They could be from earlier today, they could be from yesterday. I can go back to any of these patients by clicking on them, finish what I was doing, and when I sign off electronically, they'll be removed from my Open Encounter list. Anything that's in my Open Encounter list isn't getting billed either, so obviously a good idea to try to keep that as small as possible. On your control panel, we can also see that we have some very nice buttons at the top that allow us to access other critical data. One of the things you might be interested in is your ARA dashboard for meaningful use. At any point, if you want to know if you are meeting those requirements, you can always click on that and instantly are able to see where you are for the practice in terms of meeting your CPOE requirements, your problem list maintenance, your e-prescribing, etc. So this lets me see what percentage we are towards meeting those goals. I can run this report for all providers in the practice, one provider in the practice, between any two date ranges. So this gives me my nice thumbs up, thumbs down for any areas that I am meeting or am not meeting. You'll also see later that as we are working on individual patients, it lets us see where we stand with those individuals as well. If I'm ready to start working on a patient, it's just a simple matter of choosing the patient from my home page. Robin Sandoval, she's here for an injured back, suffered in a fall. She's in room 16. I'm going to simply click on her name to go to her nice clinical face sheet. Here I can see everything that's been going on with her at a glance. All her allergies with reactions, current medications she's taking, past medical history, past surgeries, family history, social history, and we can have windows that might be very particular to what you like to see. Notice that if I'm ready to start working, I can simply choose from my workflow on the left-hand side. We can see the medical assistant has already taken the vital signs. I can review the vitals. I have a history button if I'd like to see how has her body mass index, weight, blood pressure changed over time. I can see that. I can trend on any of those vitals. If I'm done looking at this, I can just simply follow my green workflow arrow. So down at the bottom right says HPI. Takes me to my history of present illness where it's going to pop up a list of the most common reasons that patients come to see you. We can see from the appointment schedule the reason why the appointment was made. So I can just simply start to type in whatever that problem is. Patient might also bring up some other complaints. We can bring up all of these different items. These are going to be very specific to your specialty. We have excellent templates already built into the system, but very customizable. And it's also customizable by you as the end user. As I come down here, I can specify exactly what kind of event took place. So might be more than one contributing factor. What's the intensity? Is it mild, moderate, severe? I might want to indicate how long has this been going on. So maybe it's been going on about 72 hours. And the location of it. Upper thoracic, cervical, and so on. Now if I choose any of the other complaints, the headache she brought up, I see a nice template here, and I can ask her, well, how long has this been going on? And did it come about gradually or suddenly? Whereabouts is that pain? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Maybe significant worsening. If I choose the asthma, I'll see that I have different questions for that. And once I'm done, I just simply follow the green arrows. Down at the bottom, my green arrow pointing me to the review of systems. I could choose a different review of systems than the one that I'm presented with, so I might have a follow-up review of systems or a new one. I can check everything instantly if I'd like to with the positives, or I could come down one at a time through each of these. If the patient has any positives, I can quickly mark those. As I click on an organ system to the left, I see the details to the right. You always have areas to the right where you can put in your comments, but I also have binoculars that I can program with my favorite phrases. So I can pop into those. They're going to be very specific for each question. So musculoskeletal, she also has a problem. Neurological, she says she has migraines. Notice that any organ system where we marked a positive clearly shows a red box to the left. Now I'm going to go on to my objective exam. I just choose the green arrow at the bottom right. In my physical exam, I can quickly check off everything, or I can come down one at a time if I like. As we see a problem, we can quickly mark it. Things can get marked as abnormal, very quickly flagged. As I choose another organ system on the left-hand side, I see more detail to the right, and I can mark those areas as appropriate. Sometimes it's nice to also be able to annotate, so at any point you can jump into your diagrams. From my human body diagram, I may want to choose from my customized icons. As we were pushing here on the patient, they felt some pain. I can quickly mark that with my pain icon, put any notes that I want to the right. Geographically marks those areas for me. Perhaps I'd also like to pull up the left side of the face and use my swelling icon. So I can mark those. I can also do free-form drawing as well, if I like, on the diagrams. The whole time as we're going along, the system is automatically doing our note for us. As I click on Progress Note, I see my note, my HPI, all her past medical history, surgical history, family history. This is more like an H&P, which is a little bit more detailed. Her follow-up note will be more concise. The review of systems, anything where we marked a positive, I can see clearly in red. As I come down to my objective exam, I can see the same thing. And you may want to have your diagrams in there as well. If I decide I'd like to do some assessment notes on this patient, when I come into the assessment plan area, you'll notice the system will help me to try to choose appropriate ICDs. They may be okay, but you can always jump into your plus sign here and choose from either your preferred list, or you can jump into the entire ICD database and you can search by description or by code. For each of these, if I'd like to do a separate assessment plan, I just simply highlight the problem as I'm filling the boxes to the right. For follow-up, I can indicate the patient should come back and see me again in 1 week. The reason why? We want to review her x-rays. This will go as a pop-up message to the front desk, so by the time the patient even gets up there, front desk will already know what needs to be done in terms of follow-up. Down here I can use these buttons to order that radiology. It's going to pop me into my favorite list of items, or I can jump into the entire list and specify exactly what it is that we need to order. E-prescribing is also built into Pro EMR. This patient's already been going to a Walgreens drugstore, but we can choose any other pharmacy across the US if she changes her location. If we want to give her a new medication today, simply by starting to type the name of the med, the system knows everything about that drug. It'll also know your preferences if you've prescribed it in the past in terms of the dosage, the frequency, number of days. If the patient has any questions about the medication, I can choose my drug info button, pulls up all the data about that medication, and I can print this off along with any other educational materials for the patient. From here I can add that quickly to her prescription by hitting the update button. If there's any other medications from her past that we would like to bring in, I have my past RX button. I can pop into her medication list and choose any of the other medications that she's on. Other than that, I can simply hit the ERX button in the upper right to send it right to her pharmacy. And the system will know if there's any allergies, alerts that should be taken into account. At this stage, we're pretty much done with our patient. And finally, we may want to use our Enm Calculator to be able to see what we can code for. You'll notice the system has been keeping track of the bullets under the HPI, the review of systems, and our physical exam. Now it's just up to me to make a subjective decision. Was this minimal, straightforward, low complexity, moderate complexity? Based on this, the system will tell me that I could do a 99213. To get to a 99214, I would have just had to review her past medical history, family history, social history. So you'll see it highlights for me, and I can confirm it by putting a dot in the radio button there. Or I could override it, or perhaps I spent more time. I want to document it actually was 25 minutes that I spent with the patient. So this way there's no erring on the side of caution. When we close our encounter, this code, along with any procedure codes that we did, will also go over to the billing department for billing. As we proceed to the encounter close screen, we see the system gives us a nice summary of what we've done. We have our follow-up for 1 week to review her x-rays. And we are done. We'll mark our encounter complete, sign off. As we leave, it tells me that I haven't sent a letter to the referring doctor, Dr. Bernstein. Would I like to send it now? If I answer yes, it'll fax a nice letter to that physician, having all the pertinent information regarding today's encounter. And then finally, it'll tell me if there's anything that I'm missing on my meaningful use for this particular encounter, which I can go back and check. As we finalize our visit, the system shows us our progress note, and I'm now ready to come back to my home page. We can see now that Robin Sandoval is complete, and now I'm ready to work on my next patient. As you complete an encounter, your work is done and you're now ready to move on to the next patient. Over in your billing department, they have received the codes for the charges appropriate for the visit you just completed. They simply highlight the claim and they approve the claim. Make any changes if necessary, submit. Voila, your claim is on its way.